Most men over 50 are silently inflaming their prostate, and they don't even know it. It's not genetics. It's not bad luck. It's everyday habits, repeated for years, that are quietly leading to enlarged prostates, urinary struggles, and sleepless nights. As a prostate doctor, I've seen the pattern too many times to ignore. You might think frequent urination is just part of getting older. It's not. It's your body warning you, and most men don't listen until it's too late. What if you could break the cycle, avoid chronic urinary retention, and take back control of your nights and your life? In this video, I'll reveal what's really causing your prostate to swell, which early symptoms to never ignore, and what simple changes can stop the inflammation before it's too late. This isn't just advice, it's what I tell my own patients. If you're serious about your health, make sure to follow this channel. New insights every week to help you age stronger, not weaker. The prostate is a small gland, about the size of a walnut, that sits just below the bladder in men. Its primary role is to produce fluid that nourishes and protects sperm. As men age, particularly after 50, the prostate naturally tends to enlarge. This condition is known as benign prostatic hyperplasia, or BPH. Though it's non-cancerous, the changes it brings can significantly affect quality of life. With BPH, the growing prostate begins to press against the urethra, the narrow tube that carries urine out of the body. This pressure makes it harder for the bladder to empty properly. Men often notice they need to urinate more frequently, especially at night. Others experience a weak urine stream or a sensation of incomplete emptying. These symptoms tend to worsen gradually, making early recognition crucial. It's important to understand that BPH doesn't appear suddenly. It develops slowly over years, often without alarming signs at first. Many men attribute early symptoms to just getting older, not realizing that these changes could signal a growing prostate. Left unaddressed, BPH can lead to bladder damage and urinary retention. Knowing the nature of this condition empowers men to act before complications arise. Prostate health after 50 deserves attention and proactive care. Doctors specializing in men's health emphasize the importance of routine checkups and awareness of symptoms. The goal isn't just to manage discomfort but to prevent progression. By understanding what BPH is and how it starts, men can take control of their urinary health. This knowledge is the foundation for smarter, healthier choices moving forward. Early symptoms of an enlarged prostate often go unnoticed or are dismissed as minor inconveniences. One of the first signs is a weakened urine stream, where the flow feels slow or interrupted. Men may also feel an increased urgency to urinate, especially when they've just finished. It's not uncommon to feel like the bladder never fully empties. These subtle changes may seem harmless, but they can signal the onset of BPH. Another common sign is nocturia, the need to get up multiple times at night to urinate. This disrupts sleep and over time leads to fatigue and lower quality of life. Post-void dribbling, where urine continues to leak after one finishes urinating, is another symptom often brushed off. These signs are not simply part of aging, they are your body trying to warn you. Ignoring these early indicators can allow the condition to progress silently. What starts as mild inconvenience can develop into something that interferes with daily activities. Many men only seek help when symptoms become severe, when urination becomes painful or nearly impossible. But by then, the bladder may already be under stress or even damaged. Understanding and acting on these early prostate symptoms is key to preserving long-term urinary and bladder health. Doctors who specialize in prostate care urge men to pay attention to even mild changes. The earlier BPH is identified, the more effective the treatments. Awareness is the first line of defense in protecting your prostate and avoiding complications. One silent but harmful habit many men develop is regularly holding in urine, whether due to busy schedules, discomfort with public restrooms, or simply not prioritizing the urge. Delaying urination puts stress on the bladder and prostate. Over time, this habit forces the bladder muscles to work harder than they should. What seems like a harmless delay can actually trigger a cascade of issues. When urine is held for too long, it increases internal bladder pressure. This pressure not only causes discomfort but can irritate the prostate, especially if it's already enlarged. The result is inflammation that may worsen prostate symptoms. The longer urine sits in the bladder, the more concentrated it becomes, and that can contribute to urinary tract infections as well. Men with BPH are particularly vulnerable to the effects of delayed urination. Their narrowed urethra already makes emptying the bladder more difficult. Add frequent urine retention to the mix, and the bladder begins to weaken and lose elasticity. Eventually, it struggles to empty fully even when given the chance. This sets the stage for chronic retention. Prostate doctors strongly advise against this habit, especially for seniors. Listening to your body and urinating when the urge arises is a simple yet powerful preventive act. It keeps urinary flow consistent and reduces irritation to both the bladder and prostate. Maintaining this habit supports long-term bladder health and helps avoid painful complications later on. When the prostate enlarges and narrows the urethra, the bladder must compensate by working harder to push urine out. This increased effort over time leads to thickening of the bladder wall, particularly the detrusor muscle, the primary muscle responsible for urination. This condition is known as detrusor hypertrophy. It's the body's way of adapting to resistance, but it comes at a cost. As the detrusor muscle grows stronger, it also becomes less flexible. That loss of elasticity makes it harder for the bladder to store urine comfortably. Men may begin to experience more frequent urges to urinate, even if the bladder isn't full. In some cases, the muscle becomes so overworked that it starts to contract involuntarily. This can lead to sudden urgency or incontinence. Over time, the thickened muscle may also lose its ability to fully empty the bladder. The result is a cycle of incomplete voiding and increased urinary retention. This not only worsens BPH symptoms but can also damage the bladder's overall function. It's a classic example of how the body's compensation mechanisms, while initially helpful, can lead to long-term complications. Understanding how the bladder reacts to prostate enlargement is critical for taking timely action. Prostate specialists encourage early intervention to prevent the bladder from reaching this hypertrophic state. With proper treatment and healthy habits, it's possible to maintain bladder strength and flexibility. Protecting the bladder is just as important as treating the prostate itself. Inflammation plays a key role in the progression of benign prostatic hyperplasia. As the prostate becomes irritated, whether from pressure, infection, or retained urine, the immune system responds by sending inflammatory cells to the area. This creates swelling and discomfort, but more importantly, it activates a biochemical chain reaction. These signals can prompt the prostate to grow even further. Cytokines and growth factors are released during this process. These substances, while intended to aid healing, can also stimulate the production of new prostate cells. This is particularly problematic in aging men whose hormonal environment is already primed for prostate enlargement. Inflammation becomes more than a symptom, it becomes a driver of the disease. Chronic inflammation also affects the surrounding tissues, including the bladder neck and urethra. This can further restrict urine flow and heighten urinary urgency. Inflammation may be subtle, without causing fever or pain, yet it silently contributes to prostate overgrowth. This is why many men with BPH also experience ongoing discomfort or a sense of pelvic pressure. To manage BPH effectively, doctors often focus on reducing this underlying inflammation. Lifestyle changes, targeted supplements, and sometimes medications are used to interrupt the inflammatory cycle. By calming the immune response, it's possible to slow prostate growth and relieve urinary symptoms. Treating inflammation is not just relief, it's a long-term strategy for prostate health. Certain everyday habits, often overlooked, can quietly worsen prostate enlargement. High caffeine intake is one such culprit. Caffeine irritates the bladder and increases urine production, leading to more frequent urination and urgency. For men with BPH, this added pressure can intensify symptoms and contribute to inflammation. Cutting back on coffee, tea, and sodas can bring noticeable relief. A sedentary lifestyle also poses risks. Lack of movement reduces blood flow to the pelvic area, contributing to fluid retention and inflammation. Over time, this sluggish circulation can affect both bladder and prostate function. Gentle physical activity, like walking or stretching, helps maintain healthy prostate circulation. Staying active supports urinary health and overall well-being. Diet plays a major role as well. Foods high in saturated fats, sugars, and processed ingredients can trigger systemic inflammation. This not only worsens BPH but also affects heart health and metabolic balance. In contrast, a diet rich in vegetables, healthy fats, and antioxidants helps calm the immune system and protect the prostate. What you eat truly shapes how your body responds. Hydration, or the lack of it, is another hidden factor. Many men reduce water intake to avoid frequent urination, but this only makes urine more concentrated and irritating. Proper hydration keeps the urinary tract flushed and helps prevent infections. Building healthier habits, from diet to movement, is essential in breaking the cycle of prostate inflammation. Chronic urinary retention is one of the most serious complications of untreated BPH. It occurs when the bladder can no longer empty itself properly, often due to persistent obstruction from the enlarged prostate. Men may feel a constant urge to urinate but only release small amounts, or worse, none at all. This is not just uncomfortable, it's a medical emergency. Over time, retained urine stretches the bladder beyond its normal capacity. This weakens the bladder muscles and increases the risk of infection. In some cases, pressure from the full bladder can cause urine to back up into the kidneys, leading to damage. Chronic retention can result in permanent bladder dysfunction if not addressed promptly. Men may not realize the severity until symptoms become extreme. The gradual buildup of retention allows the body to adapt until it can't anymore. Sudden inability to urinate, lower abdominal pain, or swelling may be the first alarming signs. At this stage, catheterization is often required, and long-term management becomes more complex. Prostate health experts stress early detection and regular monitoring to avoid this outcome. Treatments can prevent retention if implemented early, before bladder damage occurs. Recognizing the risks of chronic retention highlights the importance of proactive prostate care. Prevention, in this case, is far better than the invasive treatments required after damage is done. Managing prostate health effectively begins with consistent and intentional habits. One of the simplest strategies is to urinate regularly, not holding in urine until it becomes urgent. This prevents unnecessary pressure on the bladder and reduces irritation of the prostate. Making time for bathroom breaks, even when inconvenient, supports long-term urinary balance. Pelvic floor exercises, commonly known as Kegels, strengthen the muscles that control urination. These exercises can improve bladder control and help reduce post-void dribbling. They are easy to perform at home and are recommended by urologists for men dealing with early signs of BPH. Just a few minutes a day can yield meaningful improvements. Diet also plays a preventive role. Eating foods rich in antioxidants, omega-3s, and anti-inflammatory compounds, like tomatoes, leafy greens, and fatty fish, supports both prostate and bladder health. Reducing processed foods, sugars, and excessive red meat intake lowers inflammation. Hydration is equally important. Drinking enough water helps flush the system and prevent infections. Finally, regular checkups with a prostate specialist are essential, especially after age 50. These visits allow for early detection of changes and timely intervention. Whether through lifestyle changes, supplements, or medications, managing BPH is far more effective when done early. Prevention isn't just a goal, it's a daily commitment to lasting prostate health. Want to go deeper and stay ahead of future prostate problems? Join the channel's members-only group. You'll get exclusive insights, early access content, and direct answers to your health questions, all designed for men over 50 who take their wellness seriously. Here's the truth. You don't have to wait for symptoms to take control of your prostate health. Start today. Small daily actions can prevent big medical problems tomorrow. The worst mistake is thinking it won't happen to me until it does. So let's turn knowledge into action. If you found this video helpful, leave a comment below, share it with someone who needs to see it, and subscribe to the channel. Don't forget to turn on notifications. Your health deserves it,